Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm here with Chubbs. I'm here with Rage. The Wolves are going to the Western Conference Finals. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuned in to Hoops World.
Hoops World.
James.
Right here, the king is like, hey, guess what? I'm still the king.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang nor the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nice blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas.
Yeah, we got a banger, man. This was the best series of the NBA playoffs. You guys probably see how much videos we post about the Wolves Nuggets series because this was magical, sensational cinema. It was cinema tonight. Like, this is the game 7 that we loved. Wow, the Wolves. What a game, man. It's this tale of two halves. Another game where it's a tale of two halves. Like,
These
so the
Western Conference series are
Mhm.
different.
Yeah, it's
At OKC Naz too.
it's different. So the first half, oh my God, the Nuggets went on a 16-0 run in the second quarter. Jamal Murray was incredible in that first half. He was hitting tween step back middies, getting to the rim. He was passing to Aaron Gordon for dump offs. It was just unbelievable. And he was getting MPJ and finally involved. The Nuggets were looking really, really good early on. They led at halftime 53-38. They were shooting 33 from three, out rebounding the Wolves 29-18. Rage, what do you think was key for the Nuggets in that first half? Why were they just so dominant in that first half? And then I'll let Chubbs go.
Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert defensively in the
Yeah.
beginning of this game.
Yeah.
The thing is that when you play him and Cat together, you also got to keep in mind that Cat is not a very good defender himself.
Mhm.
Rudy Gobert, if he's on Jokic can pull him out to the perimeter, and you don't want that. That gets everything exposed, and Rudy Gobert can't play outside the paint.
Yeah.
And that messes everything up. And they're already all focusing on Jokic, even when he goes in the paint against Gobert.
Yeah.
So it's all bad.
Yeah.
And on top of that, the Wolves didn't have anything because they were doubling and they were sending the pressure.
Mhm.
And because, Gobert was also a liability offensively in that first half
He was.
because he's
He
setting
was.
screens and making everything clogged. Gets
Yeah.
they double Anthony Edwards and he's not playing good, messes everything up because he's that main guy. And Mike
Yeah.
Conley can only do so much with him handling the ball. He can only do so much offensively trying to
Yeah.
do shit.
The Nuggets were very hot from three in that first half. But go ahead, Chubbs. Why were the Nuggets? Your view on the Nuggets in that first half?
We pretty much talked about it since the last video. It was not only about Jokic and Jamal Murray, it was kind of about everybody else.
Yeah.
Granted, you're going into game 7, home court advantage. You know what your two guys are going to give you, but it's all about everybody else. What can you
Yeah.
contribute?
The others.
And they were firing all cylinders in that first half.
Did you lose Chubbs? Is he there? Is Chubbs still there, bro? Damn. All right. But yeah, we'll be back. So free throws, the Wolves shot 90% from the free throw. They both shot 90% free throw at halftime. And it was just incredible from the Nuggets. Like, there was a point in this game in the second half, I think it was the third quarter, the Nuggets were up by 20. It was looking very, very bad for the Wolves. So then there was a momentum shift. The third quarter is the very important part of this game because like Rage was saying, Denver was double teaming Anthony Edwards from the strong side. So in the third quarter, Minnesota put Karl-Anthony Towns in. We saw when Karl-Anthony Towns was eating. First half, he was eating in the post. I remember I tweeted out. First of all, I was tweeting out they got to bench Rudy because of the double teams of Anthony Edwards. He doesn't have no space. The paint is clogged. The second thing I was saying was they got to put Cat at the 5 and maybe put Naz Reid at the 4. I tweeted this out. And then second half, they fed Cat in the post. Rudy did start, but then when they took Rudy out, I think that is when the momentum switched because Cat kind of got hot there in that third quarter. Again, so the Minnesota put Karl-Anthony Towns on the they were double teaming Ant on the strong side, but they put Karl-Anthony Towns, their best non-Ant scorer, their best shooter, on the same side of the floor as Edwards. This way, they couldn't really double because if their Cat would be there. So that kind of really opened up the floor, and then they went on a crazy run. So the Wolves were down 20 early in the third quarter, 38-58. It felt like it was over. And then the Wolves responded with a 19-3 run. It was
the
an
Nuggets
incredible
completely just disappeared.
Yeah, it was.
This game is really a tale of runs, and it really showed in this game because you were able to see the Nuggets completely dominate, and then the Wolves just took it back.
Yeah,
just like that, really.
What was?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, I cut out.
Yeah, I was like, it's all good.
Yeah, no, I cut out crazy, but
yeah.
I'll say this. What I was trying to say, first half, it was more of a collaborative effort. You saw from the Nuggets, they kind of came out swinging as a team. Game 7 home crowd. That's why they were up first half. That second half.
Yeah, talk about the third quarter because the Wolves made that huge run in that.
The
third
Timberwolves defensively decided to take the Denver Nuggets lunch money. Defensively, they just took their lunch money.
Yeah,
they decided, okay, role players, no more. Jokic and Murray, you just got to beat us. Simple as that.
Yeah.
And I don't know what Rudy drank at halftime, but he hit a fadeaway.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Not in fact, he hit an elbow hook shot and then he hit a fadeaway. So he was on something crazy. It was good. Yeah,
that's what I want to point out too, because I felt like they kind of let Jokic kind of go one-on-one. This was the problem. Jokic was going one-on-one with Rudy in the first half, and he was smoking him. But then in the second half, they did a lot of Cat, which was great. They adjusted, like you said, They put Cat and Naz Reid was only on Jokic, and they did do slightly double teams on Jokic. So Cat really guards Joker. Cat and Naz Reid guard Joker perfect. I'm not saying they stop him or shut him down, but they really limit him. He struggles when Cat and Naz Reid are on him, and the Wolves did a great job defensively, kind of just mucking up the game for him. You know what I'm saying? That third quarter was huge. Like Chubb was saying, Rudy, I was saying bench Rudy, but Rudy got back in that fourth quarter and was hitting some crazy stuff, bro. He hitting some, like you said, a crazy fadeaway. He was being effective. He was just being serviceable. The nasty and one. I'm like,
and then defensively, they realized that they had to take Gobert off of Jokic, and it was working.
Yeah, it was working.
It was fine. They were as long as you're able to actually figure out what Gobert's going to do off of Jokic, you just got to try and keep him in the paint and hope everyone makes a collaborative effort. And the good thing is that the Timberwolves are such a good team defense is that they're able to make that work because, it's hard to really work around Gobert not being able to really do anything outside the paint, especially when the thing is with that Nuggets team is that all 4 of their other starters besides Jokic can do things outside of the paint. So that makes it hard for Gobert. But the thing is that usually there's going to be somebody in the paint. You're usually not going to have a full 5 out the whole time. The Nuggets don't just run 5 out the whole time.
Yeah. I think that
unless it's just straight Jokic. But if they're bringing Cat up and someone's actually able to bug him a little, like Naz Reid, you can't just go 5 out.
Yeah,
because then Jokic is struggling.
Yeah. And real quick on this third quarter before we get to the fourth quarter, we got to talk about Anthony Edwards because at halftime, Anthony had 4 points, 1 for 7. Again, we were saying he was getting doubled, but he woke up in this third. And the thing with Ant, I remember I was texting my friend. I was like, yo, because Ant down in the third and the fourth, he made you forget that he was 6 for 24. Like, he made you forget he was having an awful game because down the stretch, he was making so many key steals, buckets, hitting huge threes. I remember he hit a huge 3, I think, in the end of the third. Just really tough. He started taking advantage of the single coverage sometimes because, like you said, Naz was in and they were spaced. So when it was like right here, when he was singled with Aaron, he took advantage of that. He was really impactful going down the stretch. I know in the score, you're gonna look at the box score, you're gonna be like, ew, 16 pointer, like 6 for 20. But if you watch this game, he impacted it defensively. He got on the bench, and I remember there was a clip where he was like, I'm gonna get in my bag now. Like, he was getting his guys hype. Like, he just didn't fold, and it's credit to him because he's only 22. Most players, like, they're not in rhythm and they're playing awful. They're just gonna fold and be like, fuck, I'm done. But he really stayed through and kept, like I said, the Wolves cut it to 1 going into the fourth. we get to the fourth. It's a back and forth game. We're seeing runs on runs. We're seeing Jamal was kind of like insanely ghost in the second half. I don't know what happened to Jamal Murray in the second half, guys. What do you guys think like happened? Like, why did the Nuggets kind of fall back in that fourth? I mean, Jokic was great, but why did the Nuggets kind of like shift backwards in that fourth quarter?
That's not like a broken record, but defense.
Yeah.
Like defense. I've never seen Jokic defended like that.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the best he's been defended in his whole rise
Yeah.
as being the star for the Nuggets. Same with Jamal Murray.
Yeah.
They played hounding levels of defense.
Yeah.
And I put it like this: the fact that they still finished with 35 and 34 and the game still felt like it was so out of reach, that just gives credit to their defense. Most nights they both dropped 30 points, that's a dub for the Nuggets. But since it's the Wolves, they managed to kind of pull it out. And yeah, so defense was definitely reason why Jamal Murray kind of struggled.
Yeah, because he was really ghosting that. And like I said, Joker was taking advantage because Cat got into foul trouble, I think, early in that, like late in the middle of the fourth. They took Cat out. You know, as soon as Rudy gets on him, Jokic is like, barbecue chicken, I'm going in. And he's cooking Rudy. Rudy ends up fouling out. But then it's the pivotal point, I think, of the game was late in that fourth quarter. It's a close game. Naz Reid, man. Naz Reid had a couple of great, he had a putback dunk. There was a point where he had a block shot on Joker, putback dunk. He had
like a
steals. He was doing everything. He was everywhere. Naz Reid was everywhere. He earned that 6th Man of the Year award because I couldn't believe my eyes of Naz Reid, bro. He was doing everything.
He had an steal, but he had like a couple of blocks, and then he had an effort play too.
He had some effort, nice, bro. Like he dove on the floor for steals. It was the Naz Reid show, bro. Go ahead.
And then you look at the box score too, like, and not even just the box score, just watching the game. The thing was with the Nuggets is that no one outside of Jokic and Murray were doing anything. No one was doing anything. And that's where it beat them. They had nothing off the bench. They had 5 points off the bench from one player, and that's it. Yeah. They played Justin Holiday and Reggie Jackson off the bench too. 9 minutes and 5 minutes out of those guys. Brown had 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And their starters, 42 minutes, 34 minutes, 47 minutes, 43 minutes, 40 minutes.
I was really shocked how
Denver just doesn't have, bro. Denver has going into this series, we knew that Denver was in trouble because they have no depth. They have no depth. And what if their guys are just playing bad? They have no bench players.
They miss Bruce Brown and Jeff, Uncle Jeff. They miss Bruce Brown and Jeff Green a lot. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yeah,
it's bad. And then you still gotta think, like, they have Naz Reid coming off the bench. Nickeil Alexander-Walker couldn't hit a shot at all, but still plays defense.
Yeah.
And the thing is that, big props. We have a player that needs to be talked about a lot. Obviously, last year he was talked about with how he was doing to KD, but that man Jaden McDaniels is different.
Yeah, he's different. He might take that next step because we used to just think of him as like, oh, he's just a lockup kind of 3-and-D or a lockup wing. Now he's taking that next step. Like he's getting to the rim. He's scoring at all 3 levels. His 3-point shot's getting more consistent.
He's getting to the line.
Yeah, he's definitely stepping into that next echelon of like extreme. I don't know about star, but like extremely really good role player. Like really, really good.
Yeah, he's a solid role player. If he can average a good, like, because he averaged 10 this year. If he can average, like, obviously, like with the team that he's on, he's not going to average a lot of points, but like 13, 14 points, like, if that man was off the bench, clear 6th Man of the Year. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I was really shocked. Last thing on the Nuggets, I was really shocked how Michael Porter and Aaron Gordon was shooting lights out in all of it. Remember those games where he was just shooting insanely from 3, and then he just kind of like he just went passive. He just like how many shots he took tonight? He didn't take no threes tonight. He took
his highest stat was his fouls.
Yeah, he had a game where it was like 27 points.
He had 5 fouls, 4 points. 4 rebounds, 2 assists, a block, and a turnover.
Same with Michael Porter. I was really shocked how Michael Porter, like, I know the Wolves defense was great, but he did miss a couple of like easy open looks too. So I was like shocked how they shot. Like
it's not his day.
Yeah, that was really
the Nuggets also have no depth, man. That was also a big key of why they did not win this series, is because they have zero depth.
Yeah.
Zero depth. Another huge point.
Yeah.
And that's telling something because it's literally the same roster that they just ran back.
Yeah,
minus,
they ran. That's
probably
what I'm saying.
minus Bruce Brown, and even then,
minus Bruce.
Would that really
Jeff.
changed anything against guys like McDaniels and Neil Alexander Walker? No.
Yeah, literally the same roster.
I don't know. I think you get Bruce Brown, and if you get the same version of those two, like I don't know about Jeff Green. Who knows? Like obviously he's getting old. I have no idea how he played this year, but like the thing is that like if you have something like that, or you just add a little bit in the offseason and get a little bit better in terms of your players and not just lose.
Yeah.
I mean, that's key. You need bench players. You can't just rely on your starting five unless you have, a god squad on your starting five.
This is a great segue to like we'll talk about the Nuggets off season, like for the Nuggets, and it's like I don't think they need to really break anything up. It's just that, like I said, they led by 20 in the second half at home with a chance to go to the Western Conference Final. So it's like you can't really tell yourselves like, oh my God, we have to destroy this team and build something. Like I just think you just need more, like Rachel was saying, you need more key pieces off the bench. You need kind of like a six man off the bench, more effective, and you might need a little bit more twitchy defending wings.
Yeah,
more like a 3-and-D.
The crazy thing is that the Nuggets have like little to like no problems to really fix. It's just really adding bench players, which you'll be able to do being, the Nuggets. You should be able to at least.
And to be honest, give him a backup.
Like that's it, really.
God bless it. Like God bless Joker's heart. He did not sit down for 1 minute. Get a backup center, a legit one that you could literally put in the game, because he could not even like this man played the whole game. What did he play, like 47 minutes?
Okay, bro. Actually, he did sit 1 minute. He sat a minute. He sat a minute.
Hey, I'm just saying, iHeart's right there.
He sat a minute.
Yeah,
he sat it.
Didn't iHeart play for the Nuggets previously? Hey, bring him back.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Hardenstein would be a great addition, because it's like if the Nuggets could get if Nuggets could get a backup center that's effective, that way like when Jokic doesn't have to play, like Jokic was exhausted, like he was exhausted.
All I'm saying, I think the Nuggets should offer Lonnie Walker some money.
Oh yeah.
They definitely need that. I wouldn't say third option, but just that guy that can get them 15 to 20.
Yeah, off the bench.
You have Lonnie Walker and Hartenstein onto that. You still have Brown, who's solid. We know he will play his defense. He's a scrappy guy who can also, he's not like he's limited offensively, doesn't do much, but he can still like give you a three every now and then and get to the rim every now and then. Brown isn't bad.
Yeah.
You know what's true? I feel like the main reason we're having this convo is because MPJ is not who he say he is, and that's not to disrespect, but not for nothing. I feel like if MPJ was more of that 15 to 20 guy, like I said, like playing a little defense, like I think he was shooting well this series, but more from if he could just give a little bit more of a dynamic from the scoring outside of just 3-pointers.
Yeah,
like kind of go into the rack.
He needs a midi. He doesn't have no midi. He has no midi at all, bro. And he doesn't go to the rim at all either.
Like I don't think people understood who he was coming into the NBA. This was a man, if not bearing any injury, would have been guaranteed top 10, top 5 pick.
Yeah.
Like, another great point, though. Another great point to hit on, because Michael Porter Jr., if you look at this series. Like, and you watch the games, Michael Porter Jr. had a horrible playoff series. Horrible.
He was great against the Lakers, but not this series. It was
his first game. He had 21 points, right? He had 21 points, at 4 rebounds. He shot 80% from 3. He went 4 for 5.
Yeah.
He had 21 points. That's a good game,
Yeah.
And then the next game, 4 points, 0% from 3. Next game, 6 points, 26% from 28.6% from 3. Next game, 8 points, 16% from 3. And then this game, 16% from 3.
Bro, he had I didn't realize he was a stinker like that. He had a really bad stinky series, bro.
Yeah, so
21, 4, 6, 8, and 7. And you got to think this is a team with no depth. The Nuggets literally have no depth.
That's a great point, Chuck.
Yeah, so mind you, like, and this is not no disrespect to MPJ, but we do need to have that conversation. Like, thank God y'all did win a championship, so this is not like such a crisis of a conversation, but this is something you need to talk about. This is a guy that was meant to be that third option guy next to Jamal and Jokic. He was meant to be way more. Now he has this big ass contract, and for what a over fucking rated 3-and-D wing.
Yeah.
You gotta think
come on.
this guy only had one game in this 7-game series where he averaged the same or more points than his points per game average. One game. The first game of the series, 6 more games went by, and this guy couldn't even get double-digit points in one of those.
And
games.
you would think he would, because he's wide open. Because you think about like the amount of times that the Wolves were doubling Joker, they were doubling Joker like literally. I'll say 6 out of these 7 games they double Joker, maybe 5. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like
so
hard body doubles.
That was down to game 3, but I don't know. I have to go back down to game 2 and game 1.
Yeah.
So my bad. But even in his first game he shot 57%, but in the next game 14%. It's still essentially the same point. If Michael Porter Jr. isn't hitting his threes, he's not doing anything.
Yeah, he needs exactly.
His first game, so in 2 games, he had 21 points and 20 points. Game 1 he had 20 points. Game 3 he had 21 points. The rest of the games he couldn't get double-digit points. So
that was in this series or Lakers series?
This series.
This series. Okay.
Yeah. He I said.
Still bad.
So with the Nuggets off season, like you said, you got to take a big picture here. You need scoring off the bench. You need another big man. You need a backup big that's effective, that could help out Jokic. And then you got to look at Michael Porter Jr. and look at him and say, yo, you have to improve as a player. Like, you're an amazing shooter. You're 6'10", God-gifted. You as a tall shooter, you're athletic. You have to take your game to the next level and start and become a 3-level scorer. You know, don't be afraid to go to the rim or get a high percentage shot. Work on your midi. You know, be a more effective third option, because if you can't be that third option for Jokic and Murray, it's gonna be big problems going down. Trying to get back to the finals. Now, real quick on the Wolves, we'll get to the Wolves and we'll get out of here. What this Wolves Mavs series, man? I wish we have to do another whole video, but this Wolves Mavs series is gonna be very interesting. Now, going into this, I said the Mavs would probably rather have the Nuggets matchup wise, because this Wolves team is such a hard matchup. You have the Mavs, who they're not really a big team, because you got Derek Lively, 7-footer. You added Gafford, you added PJ Washington, but the Wolves are just still bigger at every position. You know, you get 2 7-footers, you got Nikhil, you got McDaniels.
And the thing is with Dallas, Dallas is kind of just like the Timberwolves, but like the thing is that Dallas outplays the Nuggets in terms of they actually have role players. They actually have role players. They have Tim Hardaway. They have Green. They have they still Hardy. Have Lively. They have Gafford. They have Hardy, like you said. Like
Green, sometimes he can be good.
Jones, Derek Jones, and then you have Kyrie and Luka on top of that.
Yeah, so they have a deeper, like, they both of these teams can go like 6, 7, 8 deep. So it's gonna be an interesting matchup. To me, Kyrie has to up his points, and it's going to be tougher because this is the number 1 defense. But he got away in OKC. Of course, he was great defensively and playmaking, but he got away with kind of being lackadaisical on offense, letting Luka like do his thing and let me step back. This series, Luka's going to have to have 30. You have to have 30.
6 threes.
Yeah, you're going to have to have at least
6 threes game.
Yeah, exactly. PJ was insane, and I don't know how PJ's going to play this game with better defense, but Kyrie's going to have to be better points wise, and then big man wise, I feel like Rudy and Derek Lively match up perfectly. You're going to have to match up. You're going to have to switch hunt on Rudy. Like, you're going to have to expose Rudy, bring him out to the perimeter. Kyrie and Luka are going to have to solo him and expose that aspect of it. But it's going to be, what are your takes real quick? Like, what do you guys think? Who's going to win the series, or who do you think is the X factors, I guess, for the teams?
I'll say this. It could get dark for the Mavs.
Yeah.
If they don't play their cards right, it could get dark very quickly.
It could get dark.
Luka, I'll say Luka, how they could probably catch him lacking a lot of games, or most of the games. But I feel like he's too crafty for them to completely shut him down. He's just too crafty. He's too skilled with the style he plays in.
Yeah. Hard to double him. He's just such a great passer.
Yeah. But they have their work cut out for him, especially with the wings the Timberwolves have.
Yeah.
For me, the X factor is Kyrie Irving. I'll say this: he can't have the series he had versus OKC in this one and expect to win. He can't.
Yeah.
That 15-17 needs to be bumped up to like 20-25.
Yeah.
And that's not being harsh. That's that's the standard. You're like the second best player on the team. You gotta.
Yeah.
You gotta.
I don't know if PJ's gonna carry you through this one, bro.
You gotta bump that average up like 10 points to really take this team down. Because number one, it's a team that is not afraid of anybody and is really good at defense. That's a very nightmarish combo for a team like the Mavs.
Yeah.
So the Timberwolves are going to go into that series they're going to go into like, okay, let's see who you say you are. That's the mentality they're going. We don't care who you are. We're going to go at you defensively, prove us wrong. We're going to try and lock you down. And that's a tricky ass game. Like, I will not be surprised you see guys like PJ struggle. You see guys like Derek Lively constantly be in foul trouble because he has to deal with Anthony Edwards or deal with fucking Gobert or Cat. Like, it could get dark given the fact I don't see any other center depth they have, especially if you got to deal with Cat and Gobert. And when they mix Naz Reid in, it could get dark for the Mavs. It could get really dark for the Mavs.
Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, the thing is that Chubbs just laid that out so perfectly. I don't even know what to say. Because the thing is that realistically, it comes down to Kyrie Irving has to be better. The thing is that the Timberwolves are such a good team. They're an insane team defense. We know this.
This is the best defense I've seen.
If Kyrie is struggling and PJ Washington isn't doing his stuff, and and everyone's not collected, because other than that, like, you still have to you got to depend on 3-point shooting, and if they're there, what are you doing?
Do you think the Mavs could get through this series?
Let's not forget, Luka has his bad games too.
Yeah. So do you think the Mavs still have a chance? Do you think they have no chance, or they have a chance? Like, they have a chance to go?
I think although the Mavs have these problems that we're talking about, I think they're still way too good of a team to let this get out of hand. I think it goes 6-7 games. But I think the Timberwolves do take the series.
Yeah.
The Mavs are just they got Luka, they got Kyrie. They obviously have guys that have playoff experience. They're honestly better. They're better suited than the Nuggets in terms of their overall team, because they have more role players. They can match up better with the Timberwolves in terms of that aspect. That's huge. Big reason why the Timberwolves or the Nuggets lost this series. I think it'll be close. I think it'll be a really good series. I think there will be games that are blowouts.
Yeah.
Kind of just like what we've been seeing over this postseason pretty frequently with all of these series is really. I'd expect some blowouts, but I think the series is pretty close, 6-7 games.
I got Wolves. I think I'll have Wolves in 6, or I could go 7, but I have Wolves in 6 or 7. I could be wrong, because this is one of them series where I'm like, I had the Mavs as my dark horse, but because of Luka and Kyrie. Like, Luka and Kyrie are generational closers, scorers. Anything with those two, it can pull you out of anything, I feel like, if they're on fire. So it's like it could go either way. But
I have a bold prediction. I want to be like either Mavs or Wolves in 6, but I have a very bold prediction. Wolves in 5.
Ooh.
Like, the more I think about it, can Kyrie really just turn it on and turn that 15 into 25?
It's tough, man. Hey,
I don't know. I know Kyrie.
He could get it. He could get it. I think he could get it there. But this defense is, like I said, this defense is one of the best defense we've ever seen. It's gonna be if Kyrie could average 25 plus on this defense, then I'm like, damn, he's him. I know Luka's gonna get his regardless. Luka's gonna get his.
I think Kyrie's gonna get that one game where he goes for 30, and I feel like that's the game you gotta try and win.
Yeah,
I feel like it could be, I wouldn't say mediocre, but it's very clear Kyrie might struggle with that defense. But I feel like he's going to have that one game where it's like he's just locked in. He's just going to start smoking anything in front of him.
Yeah.
You have to win that game.
Yeah.
Let
us know in the comments how you guys feel about this upcoming series. How you guys feel about the Game 7? Who you got in the Western Conference Finals? Mavs, or shoot, we'll see what happens. Let's see what happens. Hit that like button. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok at HoopsWorld0. We'll be back for these Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals. We'll try to cover that for you guys. Appreciate you guys so much. It's Hoops.